Ooh, this is going to be one of the best rankings of the entire 12 days of rankings. Today, we are going over the best shortstop from every team in Major League Baseball in a position that is extremely loaded, extremely talented. Everyone has their own rankings of the shortstops because there's so many good players. The top 10 is loaded. The top 15 is loaded. The top 20 is loaded. Shortstop is loaded. So I'm going to be going over the best player from every team at shortstop in today's video as a part of the 12 days of rankings. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, supporting them like you have the last few days. I really do appreciate it. It does mean a lot to me that you guys show support, and I'm glad that you're enjoying the content because I love making it for you guys. So if you do enjoy the 12 days of rankings and you're pumped that you got another video today, make sure to leave a like on it. Great way to support the channel. It does help me out a ton. Subscribe if you're new so you don't miss out on any of the content coming at you. Get in the comments down below. Let me know your opinions on what you think of my rankings. Do you agree or disagree? As always, this is a conversation. I want to hear more from you. And last but not least, make sure you follow me on Twitter and Instagram at GiraffeNeckMark. All my social media in the description down below. Let's get going into the shortstop rankings. These are going to be real good. Getting our list started today at the number 30 spot, I've got Nico Goodrum for the Detroit Tigers, who found himself at the bottom of my list last year, and he's at the bottom again. Now, while he actually did improve a little bit defensively in 2020, the offense was just non-existent. The worst year he's had at the plate offensively, and he wasn't a great hitter to begin with. 5 homers, 7 doubles, 20 RBIs, and 7 stolen bases on the season, 184 average, 263 on base, 335 slugging, 598 OPS. While the defense did get better, he was pretty horrible at the plate and consistently, historically, has been really bad defensively, so I gotta put Nico Goodrum here at number 30 as the worst shortstop in baseball right now. At the number 29 spot, Cincinnati Reds former shortstop Freddie Galvez, currently a free agent. Freddie Galvez is the definition of a great backup, but if he's your starter like he was for Cincinnati in 2020, that's not great. 7 homers, 5 doubles, 16 RBIs, a 220 average, 308 on base, 404 slugging, 712 OPS. He's a below average hitter. He's a decent glove at shortstop, not elite, but not bad. Again, he is a depth piece, shouldn't be your starting shortstop. Switch hitter, good player to have on your team, but right now can't really get much higher than 29, so Freddie Galvez slots in perfectly right there. Next up, at the number 28 spot, I got San Francisco Giants shortstop Brandon Crawford. Now, I know you guys are gonna say he had a 792 OPS in 2020. Stop it, guys. Brandon Crawford had a 2-week stretch where he was hot. Otherwise, he was a bad hitter in Major League Baseball, and in a short season, that can skew your numbers, and what I've seen in the past from Brandon Crawford is that he's just not hitting, and he's not fielding anymore. He's getting old. He shouldn't be a starting shortstop in baseball anymore. I'm gonna have a little respect for him. He was good back in his day, but right now at shortstop with the talent that's there in Major League Baseball, I can't put him higher than 28. Doesn't have the range, doesn't have the glove, doesn't have the bat anymore. Brandon Crawford's just not the player he once was. 28th best shortstop in baseball. At number 27, dropping down my list quite a bit, kind of overreacted to him last year, Kevin Newman of the Pittsburgh Pirates. 2019 was a great year, 800 OPS, played about average defense at shortstop, but 2020 was not good, and his numbers are kind of trending downwards. Looks like 2019 might have been a little bit of a fluke season. Newman in 44 games had a homer and 5 doubles with 10 RBIs, hitting 224 with a 281 on base, 276 slugging, and 556 OPS. I don't think he'll be that bad, but I don't think he's the 800 OPS player that we saw in 2019. Find him right in the middle, maybe a little bit worse, and he's towards the bottom with how loaded shortstop is. If you're not going to hit, you better have the glove, and he doesn't have either of those, so Kevin Newman comes in at 27. For the 26th best shortstop in Major League Baseball, going out west to the Texas Rangers, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, the Flying Falafel. Kiner-Falefa is an interesting player. Gross defensively last year. He was playing mostly third base, but he's going to be the new starting shortstop as the Rangers have announced that Elvis Andrus is no longer going to be starting. Falefa's going to take over. So he's finding himself on this list. Now at the plate, he's not great. 3 homers, 4 doubles, 3 triples, 10 RBIs, and stole 8 bases, 280 average, 329 on base, 370 slugging, 699 OPS, and that was the best hitting season of his career. Overall, 670 OPS guy, and he's got a good glove, but his hitting isn't even comparable to what Angelson Simmons' glove was like when he was elite, or even some of the other great fielders in the game, so he just can't go that much higher because there are a lot of shortstops that do it all. Kiner-Falefa, though, can still get up this list if he just hits it a little bit better because his glove's that good. I got him at 26. Number 25, going to the National League Central, Milwaukee Brewers, Orlando Arcia. I will give credit to Arcia. Pretty much every year he's been in the league, he's been getting better, and he's been showing that he's trying to improve as a player, and he's still young at only 26 years old. That being said, his improvements are not that big of a deal because he's still a below average player in my eyes. Makes a lot of errors, isn't the greatest shortstop. Not a bad glove, but also not a good one. And at the plate, while he is starting to hit for a little bit more power, it's still nothing to open your eyes and say, wow, Orlando Arcia, this is great. 5 homers, 10 doubles, 20 RBIs on the season with a 260 average, 317 on base, 416 slugging, and a 734 OPS in 59 games. By far the best of his career, but still just doesn't get it going for me. 25th. Next up at the number 24 spot, heading back out west to the Seattle Mariners, shortstop JP Crawford. JP Crawford, highly touted Phillies prospect, went over to the Mariners in a Segura trade, and last year, while he wasn't great at the plate, he was great great with the glove. You are going to get a very solid glove with JP Crawford at shortstop every year, Gold Glove caliber, and he won it in 2020. At the plate, the last 2 seasons with the Mariners, over 146 games, you're getting 9 homers, 28 doubles, 6 triples, and 70 RBIs. The RBIs are shockingly high, with a 237 average, 322 on base, 359 slugging, and 680 OPS plus a 88. Again, below average hitter, really good glove. JP Crawford, only 26 years old, again, can get up this list high if he just continues to hit because his glove is nice. At the Michael Jordan spot, number 23, New York Mets shortstop Andrés Giménez. I'm really liking Giménez a lot, and I had to calm myself down a little bit because shortstop's loaded. That's why we got him here at number 23. I think this is a fair spot. In the field, he's fantastic. The Mets haven't seen this good of a fielding shortstop in a very long time, probably since Ray Ordonez. He makes plays that you just haven't seen in a while for the Mets. And defensively, just in total in baseball, he's above average. He's really good. At the plate, surprisingly better than I thought. The power is not there yet, but that will come with age. He's only 22 years old in 2021, and on the season, a decent year in 49 games. 3 homers, 3 doubles, 2 triples, 12 RBIs, and 8 stolen bases, hitting 263 with a 333 on base, 398 slugging, 732 OPS plus above 100, above average offensively last year. Really good glove. I got him slotted in at number 23. I think that's a fair spot. At number 22, left off my rankings last year, favorite of this channel, Miguel Rojas. Fun fact, Miguel Rojas actually chirped at me last year for not including him on the rankings, and boy did he show me up in 2020. He had a really nice season, by far the best of his career. 4 homers, 10 doubles, and 20 RBIs in 40 games with 5 stolen bases, hitting 304 with a 392 on base, 496 slugging, and 888 OPS. Really nice season for Miguel Rojas, and he plays a good shortstop, but you gotta look at what he's done the years before, and even with that great season in 2020, he's still a lifetime 678 OPS guy, which you can find everywhere, but I'll give him some credit. He hit really well in 2020. If he continues to do it next season in 2021, sure, he's gonna make his way even higher up this list, but again, I like to look at consistency along with last year in 2020, and you combine those two together, you get Miguel Rojas at 22. Just missing out on the top 20 at the number 21 spot. This one, it's kind of sad for me. Angelson Simmons of the Angels. Simmons is still great with the glove, but it is getting worse. He didn't win a Gold Glove for the 2nd straight year. He's still a plus defender, but not as elite as he once was. Going into his 31-year-old season, the offense has kind of taken a step back. We saw 2 good years in 17 and 18 of good offense. The last 2 in 19 and 20 just hasn't been great. 133 games played the last 2 seasons, 7 homers, 26 doubles, 50 RBIs, and 12 stolen bases, 271 average, 318 on base, 362 slugging, and a 680 OPS. Glove's still nasty. The bat's kind of fallen off a little bit, and he's looking for a team in 2021. Be interested to see where he goes, but right now I got him right outside my top 20 at number 21. Getting us started at number 20 is Jose Iglesias of the Baltimore Orioles last year and now of the Los Angeles Angels. Iglesias had a really good year in 2020, by far the best offensively in his career. 373 average, 400 on base, 556 slugging, and 956 OPS, but we're not going to freak out to that. He's always been a guy with a great glove. He's always been great up the middle. And as an insurance policy for the Angels, he'll be a perfectly fine shortstop in that lineup. For his career, he's been about a 700 OPS guy with a good glove, so I can't really put him much higher. Yes, he had a great year in 2020, but overall, it's just, I can't go that high. So for Jose Iglesias, I think 20 is a very fair spot. Next up, at the number 19 spot, I got Minnesota Twins shortstop Jorge Polanco. Starting to think that 2019 maybe wasn't the real Jorge Polanco, and that's why I've dropped him down in my rankings. Defensively, bad, not great. But at the plate, 19, he was great. 2020, not so much. Maybe the juice baseballs helped him out a little bit. 2019, he had like 70 extra base hits on the season. 2020, 4 homers, 8 doubles, 19 RBIs, and a 658 OPS with a 304 on base, 354 slugging. Just not a great year all around. In fact, the worst of his career. So I do have to knock him down a little bit, but he's only 27 years old. He can recover. He's hit well in the past. Let's see what he does in 2021, and maybe he'll prove me wrong. Got him at 19. Now at number 18, this is where you start to realize how deep shortstop is, because at 18, I've got Alberto Monteci of the Kansas City Royals. Now 2020 was a weird year for him. Had like a 2-week stretch where he went off, and that kind of saved his season. From 19 and 20 combined, he's played 161 games, so basically a full season, 15 homers, 31 doubles, 13 triples, which is insane, and 84 RBIs, stealing 67 bases, 260 average, 292 on base, 421 slugging, and 713 OPS. If you include the stolen bases, he's a little above average offensively, and he has shown signs of having some pop, plus he plays in Kansas City, which is just such a hard ballpark to hit in, and he's only 25 years old. He's a good fielder. He's fast on the base paths. Got him at number 18. For the 17th best shortstop in Major League Baseball, going to the American League East to talk about Tampa Bay Rays shortstop Willy Adames. Adames flip-flopped last year. He's always been a good defensive shortstop. The hitting was going to come. Well, in 2020, the hitting came and the defense kind of went. He made a lot of errors in 2020 just on some easy plays. He has a good glove. 9 errors in 53 games is quite shocking, but he is a better player. He does get to a lot of balls that players don't. I don't think he's a bad fielder, but if I'm not going to count him as a bad fielder off of a bad season, I can't count him as a good hitter just yet off of 54 games, which is why I think we got him at 17. 8 homers, 15 doubles, 23 RBIs, and an 813 OPS. Best span of his career for sure. I really like him going forward. He just might get pushed out at some point by Wander Franco or any of the 100 shortstops the Rays have. Doesn't mean he isn't good, though. I got him at 17. For the number 16 spot, I got Paul Deyoung of the St. Louis Cardinals. Deyoung is another one of these very confusing players. Defensively, awesome, great defensive shortstop, and that probably surprises a lot of people. And at the plate, he's also good, except for when you look at his numbers. Like 2019, 30 homers, 31 doubles, you go, that's pretty good. But then a 762 OPS. That's not that great. But you combine that with his glove, and that's why he's in the middle of the pack here. The whole year was super weird for the Cardinals, so I'm not going to punish him too hard. I think he's right in the middle of the pack. He's got great power. He gets on base decently well, and he plays a great shortstop. Number 16 feels fair, right in the middle of the pack. At number 15, the favorite player of everybody in my comment section, Didi Gregorius, the most average shortstop in Major League Baseball. Didi's not good in the field, but he has a pretty solid bat, and he showed that again in Philadelphia in a 60-game stretch after coming back and only playing 82 games in 2019 with the Yankees. Combine the two seasons together, you get 142 games, 26 homers, 24 doubles, 101 RBIs, 256 average, 302 on base, 460 slugging, and 762 OPS for an OPS plus at 100. Literally average. That's Didi Gregorius. He fits in perfectly at 15 in a ranking of 30 because that's right in the middle. Didi Gregorius, the most average shortstop in baseball. It's more of a credit to how good these next 14 are because it's starting to get crazy now. For the first player above the halfway point, at number 14, I got Nico Goodrum of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Nico Goodrum has casually been hitting a little bit better the last couple seasons, and of course in the field he's disgusting. Back-to-back Gold Gloves in 18 and 19, 20 he didn't win it, but he's still pretty good. And with basically league average offense and elite defense, because he is an elite shortstop defensively, he's just a little bit above average. 5 homers, 10 doubles, 29 RBIs in 2020 with a 266 average, 327 on base, 402 slugging, and a 729 OPS. OPS plus at 94, so again, a little below average, but the glove is so good. Nico Goodrum, just a little above average, slightly, number 14. At the number 13 spot, we're gonna go to the Atlanta Braves young shortstop, Dansby Swanson, who looks like he finally is living up to the hype that everyone was expecting with that number 1 overall pick status. 2020 was his best season without a doubt. 10 homers, 15 doubles in 60 games, 35 RBIs, 5 stolen bases, 274 average, 345 on base, 464 slugging, and an 809 OPS, career highs across the board. He was really solid. He's got a really good glove at shortstop. I think he's finally starting to get into that groove, get into the player that we expected to see. Dansby Swanson could be a guy that could easily sneak into the top 10 next year if we continue to see another strong year. Braves are just so good, and Dansby Swanson is almost underappreciated on that team because of all the other stars. But he shouldn't be because he's really good. Coming in at the number 12 spot, I got Marcus Semien of the A's, but is now a free agent, and he was so hard to rank. 2019, we saw him have an MVP type season, finished 3rd in the voting, 892 OPS, 33 homers, 43 doubles, 7 triples, and good in the field. But 2020, he was just bad across the board. Not great defensively, not great at the plate, just had a bad season. So I don't know what to do with Marcus Semien. I'm gonna find like that in between there. I still think he's an above average shortstop, and I saw what he could do in Oakland in 2019. Get him in a ballpark that's gonna be more hitter friendly. I'm scared to see what he can do. It could be really good. But the 223 average, 305 on base, 374 slugging, and a 679 OPS scared me a little bit. So I dropped him out of the top 10 and I put him at number 12. Just missing out on the top 10, coming in at number 11, I got Bichette of the Toronto Blue Jays. Bo is nasty, but I've only seen 75 games, and while he has been really, really good in those 75, he hasn't been MVP type level that we've seen out of other players who've had less games played, and in a loaded position like shortstop, it just keeps him outside the top 10, but he's still so good. In the field, he's bang on average. He's a pretty fine shortstop. Might find his way over to third base at some point in his career, though. And in the 75 games he's played for the Blue Jays in the 2 years, 16 homers, 27 doubles, and a triple with 44 RBIs, 307 average, 347 on base, 549 slugging, 896 OPS, young star of the game, and he's only going to be 23 next year. So talented, really nice guy. I met him as well. Just missed out on the top 10 at 11, though. Which means it's now time to start the top 10, and coming in at the number 10 spot's going to be Gleyber Torres of the New York Yankees. Gleyber did not have a great year at the plate, and he's not great defensively at shortstop. He's pretty bad. He's more of a second baseman, but still, we've seen what his bat can do in 2019 and 18. That's the player he is. 2020 was a fluke. I feel confident saying that, because in 18 and 19, he was averaging 31 homers, 20 doubles, 80 RBIs, and an 849 OPS. That's gross. The glove has to improve, though, if he wants to continue to play shortstop, and I know defense should matter at shortstop. It's important, but Gleyber just hits so well. If he hits 38 homers, I don't care how he plays shortstop defensively. You give me 60 extra base hits like that, Gleyber finds himself in the top 10 like I have him this year. And even then, 724 OPS plus 102, that's in a bad season for him. Not bad. Next up at number 9, getting inside the top 10, I've got Tim Anderson of the Chicago White Sox. Tim Anderson is really good, and he's shown it now for 2 straight seasons. Combined 19 and 20, 172 games, 28 homers, 43 doubles, 77 RBIs, 22 stolen bases, 331 average, 357 on base, doesn't walk, but he hits 330, so who cares? 514 slugging, 871 OPS, and he actually got a little bit better in the field in 2020. He's still not a great glove, but he was a little better. He's super talented, super energetic. I love the bat flips, and he deserves to be in the top 10 right at the number 9 spot. He's one of the best shortstops in the game. The position's just loaded. I mean, look at this. At number 8, Carlos Correa of the Houston Astros. 2020, like many of the Astros players, was a down year. A lot of the circus around them involving the cheating and such, I think, got to them a bit, and even still, Carlos Correa had a pretty okay year. In the field, I really like his glove. He's got a cannon of an arm, and at the plate, he's shown signs where he can be an MVP type player. You combine 19 and 20, he's played in 133 games, 26 homers, 25 doubles, 84 RBIs, a 272 average, 345 on base, 491 slugging, and 836 OPS with the defense that he's got at short. That's a top 10 shortstop right there. And he's only going into his 26-year-old season, a year off the cheating scandal. He's going to have a big year, especially when he's a free agent the following season. This man's about to get paid. He's a good ball player at number 8. Next up, at the number 7 spot, I got Los Angeles Dodgers World Series MVP Corey Seager. Seager's back. Not that he ever really disappeared. I mean, he got hurt, but Seager's back. 2020, he continued off of that great 2019. 15 homers, 12 doubles, 41 RBIs, 307 average, 358 on base, 585 slugging, and 943 OPS. Finished 9th in the MVP voting, was huge for them in the playoffs. Plays a good shortstop, that sweet left-handed swing. Corey Seager is just such a good player. He's so likable too, and he's like the underrated player on that team because he's surrounded by Cody Bellinger and Mookie Betts. Top 10 shortstop without a doubt, and so close to top 5 at number 7. At number 6, dropping a little bit, but again, he's still a top 10 shortstop and almost in the top 5. I got Javy Baez of the Cubs. Javi had a awful 2020 season. The only good thing was that he's still nasty in the field with that Gold Glove, and of course, 2020 is not the kind of player he is. 599 OPS, 203 average, 238 on base is abysmal, and he struck out 75 times in 222 at-bats. So it was a bad year, but you know what he's done the 2 years before that, 18 and 19. He was MVP candidate in 18, All-Star in 19, 30 homers, 40 doubles, Gold Glove defense, he steals bases. That's the Javi Baez we know. 2020 was a weird year. I'm going to chalk it up to that, but I will knock him down a few spots to the number 6 position, which leads us now into our top 5, and coming in at the number 5 spot, the most underrated player possibly in all of baseball, Trey Turner. Trey Turner is just so good. This guy got left off of both all MLB teams, and he arguably should have been the all first team MLB guy. He's just so good. In 2020, he had a phenomenal year. 12 homers, 15 doubles, and 4 triples with 41 RBI, stealing 12 bases in 59 games, 335 average, 394 on base, 588 slugging, and 982 OPS. What are those numbers? I mean, over the last 2 years, he's almost a 900 OPS player while stealing 47 bases. That doesn't even get calculated into his OPS, those stolen bases. He's turning singles into doubles, doubles into triples, 47 times over the last 2 years. At shortstop, he's not a Gold Glover, but he's completely fine. And when you hit like this, again, it really doesn't matter because Trey Turner is so good. He's the catalyst of that Nationals team, and he is a top 5 shortstop in baseball. At number 4, I'm going with Xander Bogaerts of the Boston Red Sox. This dude just flat out rakes defensively. He basically has stone hands, but he rakes. And I don't care how he plays defense when he hits over 80 extra base hits a season like he did in 2019. And in 18, oh yeah, he still hit well. 11 homers, 8 doubles, 61 hits in 58 games, and he also stole 8 bases, 300 average, 364 on base, 502 slugging, 867 OPS. Bogaerts' bat is just elite. It's on another level. And if he can just improve defensively, he can easily find himself to be the best shortstop in the game. But right now, the defense isn't there, which is why he's at 4. He's still gross and elite and disgusting, and I'll take him on my team any day. Gonna head out west for the 3rd best shortstop in Major League Baseball, and that's Trevor Story of the Colorado Rockies, who just had another fantastic season in 2020. Now I know, same thing with the third baseman video. You're gonna talk about the Coors effect. Don't want to hear it. Trevor Story's nasty no matter where he plays. He's got a great glove. He's super fast on the base path, stole 15 in 2020, which led the National League. He had 11 homers, 13 doubles, 4 triples, 28 RBIs, 289 average, 355 on base, 519 slugging, and 874 OPS. He even cut down on the strikeouts a little bit. With that glove, with that bat, with that speed, Trevor Story's in an elite category, and that's why I have him at number 3. He's so good, and another guy who's gonna get paid next offseason. Just missing out at the number 1 spot, coming in at number 2, El Nino, Fernando Tatis Jr. Yeah, I mean, this kid's just so good. I don't care, 143 games, I've seen enough. He's so good. His defense flipped back to being elite. I know people were like, oh, 2019, he stunk defensively. He was making throwing errors. I told you in the video. 2020, he was gross defensively. He finished 4th in the MVP voting because he had a gross year. So far in his career, 143 games, 39 homers, 24 doubles, 8 triples, 98 RBIs, and 27 stolen bases, with a 301 average, 374 on base, 582 slugging, and 956 OPS. If he does that for another year, I mean, he's easily going to take over the number 1 spot, and he's only 22 years old. The amount of young talent in this game is crazy, and he is part of it. El Nino is nasty. El Nino is good. He is the number 2 shortstop, though. Has not yet dethroned the guy at number 1, because coming in at number 1 still, even after a down 60 games, is Francisco Lindor. Now, I'll admit admit it, the 60 games that Francisco Lindor had in 2020 was not the kind of season you expected, but he had no help around him. Why would you ever pitch to him? Besides Jose Ramirez, no one else hit in that lineup. Even then, still had an OPS plus above 100. 2020, 8 homers, 13 doubles, 27 RBIs, 6 stolen bases, hitting 258 with a 335 on base, 415 slugging, and a 750 OPS. We know how good his glove is. He was beating Angelson Simmons to win Gold Gloves. He's nasty with the leather. And look at what he did from 17 to 19. He was averaging 34 homers, 42 doubles, and 3 triples while stealing 21 bases. So give him another 20 doubles. Why not? He was averaging 62 doubles a year, basically. 856 OPS and a gross glove. Francisco Lindor, until proven otherwise, is staying at number 1. 2020 was a bad year and still was pretty good. He's not going anywhere off my rankings, but, you know, Tatis is putting up a good fight for sure. I'm interested to see where the Indians trade this guy because he's so good. So Francisco Lindor is my number 1 shortstop in Major League Baseball for the 2nd straight year, but it is getting closer. So those are my rankings for every shortstop in Major League Baseball from every team, whatever you want to call it. I don't remember what I'm titling it, but you know the drill. You saw them all. You saw the rankings. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Do you agree or disagree with me? Where do you got Tim Anderson? Is he top 10 or is he outside of it? Make sure to leave a like on the video to help support the channel, as well as subscribe if you are not yet subbed so you don't miss out on any of the rankings coming at you. Drop me a follow on Twitter and Instagram, DraftNeckMark, links in description. That's where I'll wrap up today's video though. You guys know the drill from here on out. YouTube recommends you watch this video as well as this is my most recent upload, so click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you all tomorrow for another ranking. Bye.